Hello, conference attendees. Welcome to day 2 of the conference. Let's please welcome to the stage the Alliance's Chief Equity Officer, Mary Frances Kenion.
All right. Thank you, and welcome to day 2 of the 2025 National Conference on Ending Homelessness. I'm Mary Frances Kenion, and I'm the Chief Equity Officer at the Alliance. Woo. And it is such an honor to be in community with each of you, even if it's just for a short few days. So without starting the plenary today too heavy, I want to share a little bit about where I draw strength from in times like these. And if you know me, you know I tend to be buried in history books a lot, just to understand how we survive some of the darker times in our world. And what I find almost always is a deeper appreciation for the patterns of perseverance, resilience, hope, and faith. But right now, we're experiencing a little bit of a civil and human rights backlash. Yeah. Narratives are being reframed, and every day there are new attempts to undermine our hard-fought progress. Equity and the pursuit of justice have always been under attack by those who see it as their loss when others win. So I choose to remember those before us in the major movements, not just ours, but those who risked their freedom and their lives to bring us to where we are today. And sometimes it is hard for faith not to waver, particularly when I think about the work that remains to be done. So I remind myself often that I only need a tiny mustard seed of faith for my faith to grow. And just as it was 50 years ago or 100 years ago, those who feel threatened by the pursuit of justice are working to tear our communities apart because they want us divided. So what if instead we found the common thread that runs through all groups who have been systematically excluded from economic, social, and political power and representation, and instead let that be what brings us together? Those before us survived the darker times in our history because they came together to rely on one another, to protect each other, and to fight for their rights with whatever they could. And time again, in the face of the absolute worst humanity has to offer, it's the people who have kept each other safe. It's the people who found ways to make waves of progress even when the goalposts have been moved. And here we are, each of you. There's almost 2,000 of us here representing communities from nearly every state in the nation, all committed to a brighter future. That's faith, or as my friend and colleague Marcy says, love in action, and proof that better days are coming because we in this room are going to be the ones to bring them. Yeah. So now more than ever, we must be really intentional about disrupting what I call the isms and the phobias that divide and feed fears. In the last decade, we've come to lead our communities when it comes to trying to walk the talk on things like fairness and access, inclusion, and representation. But now's the time that we have to reorient our thinking about equity and justice because they are not the end game. Yeah, they are critical milestones on the path to solidarity and liberation from all oppressive systems. Activist and icon Marsha P. Johnson once said, "There is no pride for some of us without liberation for all of us." So if you find yourself from time to time a little light on faith, remember that right now, faith is in this room. We hold the power to change our conditions from the past straight through to the present. Our power to change our communities is undeniable. Our power to answer that little voice inside us that says, I've got to make it better than this, will move mountains. Each of us are holding space right now for a lot, either professionally or personally. And my faith comes from knowing that you can and will take care of yourselves to keep up the fight. As Marsha's sister in the struggle, Sylvia Rivera, once said, I'm not missing a minute of this. It's the revolution. Amanda Ndire said on this stage not long ago, like many fights for basic rights, it'll get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. We will win, and our victory will not be an incremental policy change, but radical reimagining of a country that finally delivers on the promise of justice and liberation for all.